see what you're doing?
I think, the work you are doing is both generous and courageous, because it comes with a offer that it might not work, and still you continue to do with certain discipline. I think that's so much to learn from.
I
So I
appreciate that.
appreciate that.
I appreciate you actually noticing that there's a discipline, because I keep faulting myself. Or I keep, not ridicule or whatever I'm doing to myself, is that I feel I'm not consistent with it. And that's one thing that I'm trying to do this year, is definitely be more consistent and more regular with it.
I think you're showing up. That's important. Problem is we want to show up with the best or perfect, and I think that's the most stupid idea. We should show up. Rest is okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I can already tell how this conversation is going to go. But normal format is that we talk about you, where you're from, what you do, and what you're noticing in your market, in your segment today. But I feel like this conversation warrants a bit of a different spin, right? But I do want to know a little bit about what is it that you're doing? How do you make a living?
बस यही करके बातें. So Asad, yaar, I've been into training for practically all my life. Started my career with AKU, Aga Khan University, accidentally in their training department. Nothing strategic about it. That was the only department that chose to give me internship. And I realized, hey, this is cool, because I was not getting tired of doing that.
Yeah.
And I kept pursuing it. I formed this company, Learning Minds, back in 2007. So this is 15 years now. And I think journey has been cool. And back in 2007, when I was not so old, I think that was not a norm of our market, particularly corporate, to accept someone as a trainer in that age bracket. So the initial years were interesting, but now sahi hai, mast hai. It's good. Abhi.
Great.
Yeah.
And this basically involves you working with businesses, with teams, to kind of motivate or to build new structures or systems.
I think one of the titles that I just not enjoy is motivational speaker, because I have never tried to motivate anyone. And in fact, I keep wondering why anyone would try to motivate anyone. If they are not giving them, why are you so concerned?
Yeah.
So most of my work, if I have to put it into a basket, I think most of my work goes into two corridors. One is innovation and the other one is leadership. These are two segments I work with. But yes, I work with a very wide kind of an audience. I work with quite a senior folks. And then I work with those who have no clue about what they're going to do in their lives.
Yeah.
And I think that adds so much of variety and strength to the language that one chooses. So yeah, so a lot of platforms where we have met, you know the kind of audience.
Yeah.
And then there are other audiences. But I think in general, I absolutely believe in the power of learning. And ठीक है, हम इस profession में तो हमें ये idea बेचना पड़ता है, learning is cool, but I think that's what makes us human anyways. So I celebrate doing what I do and I enjoy it.
Okay. And I want to know a little bit about the early days, because you mentioned that, corporates initially had this, they were confused. Why? Who's this young lad coming in telling us what to do or training us with anything at all? How did you yourself fight against that thought process?
I tried not to fight against that. I'll give
embraced
a picture.
it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. In fact, I celebrated it. So when I started, I was okay. So now when I say it here, a lot of people might not want to believe that. I'm a high order introvert, not just introvert. If nobody talks to me, I can live without talking for another 100 years if I live on. I have no...
Talking reduces the lifespan.
I have no urge to talk to anyone. But coming into this profession, I think, and that being an introvert, the first few years, I made few deliberate choices. I made choices that I'll reach out to people who are interested in getting what I have to serve, instead of knocking their doors and requesting them to buy. That was not out of the fact, it was not a strategy, because I was an introvert. I didn't have an alternate option, right? I would not go to parties. I would not go to conferences. I would not go and just meet you and introduce myself. I still don't have that courage. Okay. But those choices that I made of being sure about what I'm doing, being clear about what I'm doing, agreeing to not being big right on day one, taking those small steps, learning from diverse sources. That's what I did for at least first 5 years. And those were difficult years. Those were years, when I was getting married, my friends were succeeding in whatever roles and capacities they were. And of course, वो every day आपको एक उसका स्ट्रेस होता है. अब मैं जितना कूल बन जाऊँ वो अलग बात है, बट आपको उसका स्ट्रेस होता है. You feel the pressure.
Yeah.
But now I think उस time पे the choices that I made is now part of my personality.
Yeah.
I don't sell what I do. If you need it, you reach me out. My job is to, once you reach me out, my job is to give you the best of what I can. So I'm still a bad salesperson. I just can't.
Okay.
I can't.
And that's been your business development strategy.
It has been my problem solving strategy. I call it that way. And that's a word I'm obsessed about. If you don't have a problem that I can solve, why the hell would you hire me anyways?
Yeah.
So that's how it is. So I believe, and because your show is a show that is watched by, viewed by people who either are entrepreneurs or who aspire to be an entrepreneur. If an entrepreneur is not solving a problem and not making a change happen, I just don't understand why the hell he or she is wasting his and our time. If there is no problem you're solving, what are you doing? Why are you doing? Because at the end of the day, then you'll get tired, no matter what money you make. If there is no problem you're solving and no change you're trying to bring, I assure you, you get tired. Because that's what drives you.